Hello and welcome to Formula 1 Manager 2022. In this video, I'm going to take you through a full race weekend. So the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix 2022. I am overseeing the Haas F1 team because, of course, when you play one of these manager games, there's no fun being one of the best teams and then being able to win straight away. Instead, you want to kind of build your way up through the seasons. So after watching Drive to Survive, which is where nearly all of my modern Formula 1 knowledge comes from, I thought I'd go with Haas, I'd have a go, see if I could get them up there. In the first race of the season at Bahrain, we didn't do as well as the real Haas team did, but they were really lucky that they had three really good drivers not finish, like Verstappen didn't finish in that. So they ended up getting a lot more points than we did, but we got 2 points on the board. Kevin Magnussen did manage to end in the points, so he ended up coming 9th, so that was pretty good. But now we're going to be going into the second race, and ideally I'd like to get both races in the points, but we'll see. If I have to choose one, I'll probably choose Magnussen. So in this video, I'm going to show you basically everything. We're going to go through practice. We're going to have a look at some of the different menus and stuff, some of the different things that you can do in this game. And if you've got any questions about the game, feel free to ask me down in the comments below. So this is kind of your dashboard. This is the home thing. You can see both the racers and where they are in the Drivers' Championship. You can see this overview in the top. You can see in the Constructors' Championship, we're 6th at the moment, which is pretty good. Board have medium confidence in us, and the season objective is to stay at 6 or above, to end up on 6 or above. And then in the long term, within like 3 or 4 seasons, I think it is, they want us to end up being a contender for the podium, which feels like a long way off at the moment. Then here you can see how the teams stack up. At the moment, Red Bull are in the lead, surprise, surprise, then Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Mercedes, then us. Then you can see the race weekend preparation, which we'll have a look in a little bit. And then you've got a calendar on the right just showing you upcoming events. So you can see we've got the race weekend, obviously. And then you also have things like sponsorship obligations. So we have like a race day factory event where we're going to be hosting some of the people who are sponsoring us. And that means we can't do any work in the factory that day. We can't make any points. In 3 days, manufacturing's going to be complete on a new suspension that I've put in. And then I've also been building a race simulator upgrade, and then I've been doing some scouting and stuff like that, so that's all going to come in the future. So if I just take you through the menus, you've got an inbox where you have lots and lots of different emails come in from different people asking you about stuff, telling you information about what's going on. We have the calendar so you can see what's going on ahead. This is obviously super useful that if you want a specific part, like say it's Monaco and you want to be able to take slow corners really, really well, you might want to make sure those parts are done, ready for the Monaco weekend, etc. Then you've got the circuits. You can see what circuits are coming up and like kind of things about like the records, stuff like that, and the weather predictions. It's, you know, kind of realistic that you're not going to be able to get an accurate forecast for something that's not happening for a few weeks. You've got the race weekend stuff, and we'll come back to this in a little bit. You've got some information about the cars because obviously your team has 2 cars and you might end up with some parts where you've only got one of them, so you've got to choose which part to put them on. At the moment, I've actually made Mick Schumacher's car a little bit better because, you know, Magnussen's a better driver. I'm kind of trying to balance them out a little bit. You can also see who's working on each one. So like Kevin Magnussen's at the moment with Ed Regan. Apparently they don't get on that well. So I might need to replace Ed Regan at the end of the season. Then you can see kind of a little bit about how each car's doing, which is kind of interesting. How the development's going. So you can see there that the suspension's being worked on. And then we're also working on the rear wing and the front wing. So I've got all of my engineers working at the moment. And then we've got the warehouse where we've got so many parts in there. So, you know, you can end up in a situation where you just don't have enough parts for a car, which would obviously be a problem. Then you can see a bit about the drivers. Got Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen, then Pietro Fittipaldi as the reserve driver, who I haven't actually let do any driving at the moment. But, you know, we'll see how it goes with him. So let's head on into home and we'll head into the first race weekend. So I just press right trigger. I'm doing all of this on Xbox Series X, by the way. You might think for a manager game it doesn't really matter what platform you're on, but you'll be surprised at the graphics in this. Like, I think it looks really, really good. So you get all these bits that are done by commentators. There's lots and lots of voiceovers. There's lots of stuff reacting to how you're doing as well, which is very cool.
And the atmosphere here is electric.
So let's head into this race weekend. So obviously the first thing we have is practice 1. Now you can, if you want to, simulate these, so you can just like skip them, or you can actually take control practice and see how they're going. So you can see there we've got some different targets, I've decided that I'm going to make sure at least one driver reaches qualifying 2. So this is almost like gambling on it. And this gives you extra rewards if you manage to complete it, but you lose money if you don't complete it. So we'll lose like $19,000 if we don't manage to reach qualifying 2 with at least one driver. But we'll see how that goes. And you also get some reports. You can see like what the weather's going to be like and stuff like that. So Saturday it should be sunny for qualifying, but it's going to be cloudy Friday and Sunday. It is obviously very, very hot in Saudi Arabia, and that affects it too. Like, you probably don't want to be out in the hot sunshine. Like, when it's cloudy, it means you'll probably get a bit more time on track, which is good. So let's continue into this. You can set up the cars if you want. So you can just see, okay, both of them have 0% track acclimatization. They're not used to this track. Mick Schumacher's a bit more used to his car. For whatever reason, Kevin Magnussen has gone down with this. He doesn't know his car. I'm not sure if I replaced a part on his car, maybe. And then we'll see how the setup goes. Then you also have performance bonuses, like based on how they've been doing with all of this stuff. So this performance bonus will hopefully increase. You want to try and get it to 15, obviously. So let's go to practice 1. We're going to manage practice 1 just so you can see it. But you can simulate it, or you can simulate all the way to qualifying. It's up to you. So we can see here, let's just send Schumacher out first of all. Right at the beginning of the season. Right at the beginning of the session, sorry. You don't want to send them both out at the same time because you don't want them competing with each other. He's the first one out on the track. Now, that obviously does have some downsides. There's not going to be any rubber on the track, which means they're not going to have as good grip. But while they're just doing stuff like trying to get used to what the car's like and stuff like that, I don't think it's the end of the world. Now, in the bottom left, you can see these are all my controls for Mick Schumacher. So I can choose what pace he has. So if I want, I could say, okay, be a bit more attacking. That'll wear the tyres out a little bit more, but it'll make his lap times a bit better. Or I can say, okay, yeah, you can burn loads of fuel. Obviously, that means we've got less time out on the track. But if you want, you can do that and it'll make him a little bit faster. Or you can make him a bit more conservative for both those. And ERS, you can see like, okay, do you want them to just use it as they normally would? Or do you want them to try and like burn through some of their ERS, some of the electrical charge in the car in order to overtake or just to try and go as fast as possible? Or do you want them to try and back off a little bit and try and recharge that? Maybe because you know, okay, you want them to get ahead in front of everyone who's going into the pits in a little bit. Maybe you want to do that. And then you've also got loads of other controls. So you can also look at the car condition so you can see how everything's going. They really, really go into a huge amount of detail about this. So they're running on soft, so the tires are super hot, 120 degrees. And you can see the temperature of absolutely everything. The temperature of the brakes is absolutely insane, like 475 degrees there. Then as I go into a corner, it goes up to 700 and something degrees. Crazy. And you can tell them to do stuff. So you can say, like, if the tires are getting a little bit messed up, you can say, just avoid the curbs. You know, it'll slow down the lap times a little bit, but it'll protect the tires a little bit longer. Or you can say driving clean air if you don't want them driving, like, right behind other cars, driving through dirty air. I'm not really sure what the benefit of that is. I'm sure somebody could explain it to me. And then you can also call the car in when you want to. And you can just see how they're doing. So like how fast they're going, how they're getting around the track, like how they're doing in terms of lap times and stuff like that. And you can call them in when you need to. And then if you want to switch between drivers, you just tap RB. So it's like LB and RB, and you can quickly switch between the others. And you can see things like, you can see all of their things like their team commands as well. So like, don't fight teammate, hold back the cars behind. So if you want them to try and protect someone, say I managed to get Magnussen in first position for once, that would be shocking, and then Schumacher's in second, I could tell him try and hold back the cars to stop him racing with Magnussen and get him to try and protect his position, etc. You can see there how they're doing. So we've only got one other car on the track. It looks like there's a Ferrari has gone out. And if you want, you can choose different cameras. You can see, like I said, I think the graphics are pretty good in this, considering it's a manager game. And you can see everything that's happening. If something spectacular happens, you can choose to watch a replay and stuff like that and see it from like TV camera angles. But you can watch all different things. You can even see like the instrumentation on their steering wheel, which is crazy to me. And if you want to have an overview of the whole track, you can there. So there we can see who's out. Sainz is out, so everyone's heading out now. I might send Magnussen out now, I think, just so you can get some time done. And then you can also look at things like the lap times. You can see Mick Schumacher's currently 1.3 seconds behind Carlos Sainz, which actually, I mean, to be fair, isn't that bad, but Carlos Sainz is on hard tires, so that's kind of shocking. you don't really want to burn through all of your soft tires. So I might just like let them have a go with the soft tires for a little bit, so they're a little bit ready for qualifying, but then bring them back in and put them on hard tires so they get used to it. And then you can also see just like how they're doing and how they're expected to do. So their track acclimatization, like obviously it's going to take time. They're going to have to do laps to get that and raise their car part knowledge. And if you just tap like the button, so LB or RB, you can choose to watch that car. So if you want, you can like really micromanage all of this stuff. Like if that's what you're into, you can be like giving them commands all the way around, telling them what they should be trying to do. I'm kind of, I don't know that much about it. I'm still pretty new to this. So I kind of let them do what they want, to be honest. Right, Magnussen's coming in, so we'll swap him over to hard tires. He's in, I can reconfigure. Send him up on hard tires. Oh, so the cornering, that's interesting. So if I put that in, that might be a bit better. So now we can just modify stuff until it seems a little bit better for him. So we're trying to work out what's best for him. So as we're going through the practice, we can kind of modify all of these little bits and work out what works for him and what doesn't. It's going to take a while to do all of those reconfigurations. So the other thing you can do just by tapping X is I can speed up time, and I can speed it up. If you are 2 times, you can still watch the races go round insanely fast, like F0 style. If you put it on 8 times or 16 times, you can't watch it. You just have to watch from the map. See how they're doing.
How was the balance?
Traction was getting worse and worse now.
Okay, so we need to sort out his car. He's not happy with his, so we probably need to make bigger changes. Right, so there we go. So we know basically everything sucks on his car. Right, we'll try it like that. That's quite a dramatic change, but we'll see how it goes. It's nice being able to like spend a bit of time tinkering with all of this stuff for this specific track. Obviously all of this stuff changes like depending on the temperature, depending on...
I'll see you back here.
Okay, so they're calling it going back in. Luckily we have more than one practice session, so hopefully it will get better. And then I'm just going to simulate the rest of these sessions. So we're going to simulate all the way to qualifying now. If you want to manage each practice and keep on trying to tweak everything, you absolutely can. But we're just going to simulate to qualifying for the sake of this video. Apologies if you can hear a dog barking in the background. My neighbour's dog's very excited about something. Probably not Formula 1. So, practice 3 results. We're not looking so good. 14th and 16th. But we'll see how it goes. So, they've got confidence. They're not terribly... like, they're not too far behind on setup confidence. But the car parts knowledge are really good. Track acclimatization is pretty good. Kevin's for some reason not as good as Mick. But we'll see how it goes. So we've got everything set up. Cut-off position is 15th to go into practice 2. We need to hope that they'll do okay. So we're going to manage qualifying, and I'll show you what it's like for the qualifying thing. Now, just like you kind of expect, we're going to start off where the track rubber is only on normal. It's not high or anything like that. I'm going to get him out quite early, Magnussen, because I want him to be able to race without having to bother competing with anyone else. And I'm just going to leave it on automatic mode. If you want to take manual control, you can do. And like it says there, that will give you full control over pace, lift, and coast in the OS strategy. So all those things I was talking about, you know, when they're going to push the tires, when they're going to push fuel, when they're going to push ERS, etc. Or you can just leave it on automatic. I'm sure on manual control you can probably eke out a few extra seconds, but I don't know enough about what I'm doing to trust myself to do that. So instead we're just going to let them try their best. It's nice being able to like control exactly what you've got on each window at the bottom right. So whether you want to be able to see how they're getting on, or you want to see like how the car's doing, or how far they are away from the pits or whatever, you've got loads and loads of control. So you can see there, the only 2 have set laps so far, Magnussen and Verstappen. Verstappen is 2 seconds ahead, which isn't perfect, but we'll see how it goes. Right, so I can do some reconfiguring on him if we want. We can give him a different set of tires so he can try and go a little bit faster, or we can save that for the next bit of qualifying if we want. His car parts are all not damaged, so that's good. Car setup, the only thing that could be the only thing that's bad is his braking stability, and the only thing that you can change is the front wing angle. So I could move that slightly, which might mess up his confidence, but it might also mean his braking stability is a little bit better. So we'll see. Just modifying that front wing a little bit. Magnussen is dropped down to 11th, which is bad. But it does... Oh, Mick Schumacher was eliminated. He ended up on 16th. But does that mean, yeah, Magnussen gets through, even if it's on 11th? That still means he gets through. So we'll simulate the next qualifying. Like, obviously, Mick Schumacher did not get through. But that does mean we managed to meet up our sponsorship goal, so we'll get the money for that. So we'll simulate to the race now. We'll see how he gets on. Qualifying 2. Did he actually get through to qualifying 3? No, he did not. Qualifying 3 results, he ended up in 12th. Oh, he went out in the second qualifying, I think. So he's going to start 12th on the grid, which isn't ideal.
We're back for another day of scintillating F1 action. It's race day.
But now we're at the exciting bit. So this is the race day, and there's a lot to control in this. The driver models are insanely good. Like, that looks so much like Lewis Hamilton. So let's get on with it. So we've got a cloudy day for today. Kevin Magnussen starting off in 12th, which, you know, isn't amazing, but it'll do. We managed to meet Q2, so that means we've definitely got that money. And now all we need to do is try to get in at least 12th with both drivers. That could be kind of hard, but we don't lose anything if we don't get that. And then also try to make sure both drivers reach at least 14th for 4 races in a row. So the big thing really with this is trying to make sure they both finish. Like, I don't want them to crash more than anything. So they're both going to start on softs. We can choose what strategy we want. So there's like A, B, or C has been recommended. Like, do we want to do soft to get him off the beginning quickly and then go on to hards and mediums, which means it's going to be 2 stops, or do we just want to do hard then medium, or medium then hard? I'm always tempted to just do it so he's only on 1 stop, because then he'll make up some places doing that. So that means no softs at all. But we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure whether that's a good strategy or not. And then for him, yeah, we probably don't want softs for the whole thing. I think we're going to do 3 stops for Kevin and hope that he can make up a load of places at the beginning and end, because he's going to lose tons in the middle. We'll see how it goes. It's really good to obviously stagger both your drivers so you don't have them coming into pits on the same lap and everything like that. But we'll see how it goes. So we can't do any more adjustments or anything like that. We can see the car setup. He's up to 80% confidence now, which is pretty good. You can see there he's like, I think he's in range for everything, which is pretty good. Don't want to mess with anything now, to be honest. So let's get started. Obviously you can skip all these talking bits, but I just think it builds up atmosphere. It's kind of cool. So I haven't actually seen a retirement in this. In the first race of the season, we didn't have any did not finishers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if someone does completely go off.
Okay, good job. That's one.
Okay, so Magnussen went up to 11 very briefly, but he's down to 12. Schumacher's down to 16th. Oh, God. I can tell Magnussen to just, like, push a little bit more. So to be a bit more aggressive. Push a little bit. Just at the beginning here. Schumacher overtakes Norris, so he's back up to 15th, you know. That'll do. Magnussen's up to 11th.
Got some margin, try to increase the pace a little bit.
Copy that.
So I've just put everything onto like, okay, now push.
Just keep pushing now.
Copy that.
He's behind Ocon at the moment. Once the DRS kicks in, suddenly it's just like people are overtaking all of the time. I just really want him while everyone's grouped up together to try and make up as many places as possible. It seems like this is a really, really hard track to overtake on. Like, there's not a lot of space. So if you can make places up, it's going to be a big deal. Might have screwed him over by saying he's got to pit twice, to be honest. I mean, overtaking on this would be absolutely terrifying. But on a long straight where the finish line is, surely that's his time to shine. It's getting closer. It's getting really close.
DRS enabled.
Is he going to overtake? He's having a go. He's going faster. Oh. Yeah, I think he's got it. I think he's got it. No, maybe. Yeah, he's got it. Nice. Right. Put everything back to balance now. He's in the points at least, in 10th. Like I said, you can watch the replays if you want like this. You can just tap Y. And then see this nice little challenge. With no DRS as well. That was pretty good. It was pretty brave. You can see he just managed to sneak past. Obviously, while you're watching the replay, it will like pause what's actually going on and stuff. And then we can kind of chill for a little bit now, I think. So we can speed up the race. Just see how it goes. Magnussen made up a place there. He made up 2 positions there, so let's just see what he was doing. So it's nice that you're never going to miss something because you're fast forwarding, so you can always go back to this. So just while they were fighting, I think he was trying to stop Ocon from going over, and then he overtook 2 of them. So that's really, really good. Okay, Magnussen's down to 10th. It's not the end of the world now. Okay. So pit options. He's what's the plan? These are the planned ones, aren't they? Yep, planned ones. So you're gonna go onto hards. So he should be pitting now. I think that was not too long. But he is down at 16th now. But he has pitted, so when everyone else goes into pit, he should overtake them.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Schumacher's up to 13th, but yeah, he's not going to hold it at all. Oh my god, he's down to 15th. That's embarrassing. Like, he can burn a bit more fuel, to be honest. Oh.
Here's the replay. Now just focus on the Haas.
What did Magnussen do? He locked up and then span the wrong bloody way. He's somehow still 14th. This is where you end up watching a lot of the race from, because obviously you don't need to watch it this place. Okay, so Mick Schumacher is now getting ready to enter the pits. He's got 2 more laps, I think, before he needs to. They're 13th and 14th for the moment, which isn't the end of the world, but it'd be really nice to try and get some points. So I think like the last third of the map is going to be when they're pushing. So he's going on to the medium things, pit this lap. Still no did not finishes in this, so I don't know if that's like less likely in this than it is in real life. So 14th and 16th at the moment. Magnussen is on better tyres, but he's getting overtaken. He can be a bit more aggressive with fuel, I think. How are they for tyres? The tyres, he should be okay actually, so he can probably push with the tyres as well. I think it's getting quite late in the race now. We're on 43 out of 50. No one's going to be pitting now. So Mick Schumacher is up to 12th. Safety car. Oh, what happened? Did Magnussen crash? Oh my god, Magnussen crashed. When I was saying no one did not finish. What did he do? I told him to push a little bit and he just drove into a bloody wall. Oh, he locked up and straight into a wall. Okay. So at least he's okay.
The team are devastated.
Oh,
Questioning just what happened out there.
bloody Magnussen. This is typical of Haas. Critical damage to the chassis. Yeah, there is. Yes. He's like, yeah, there's critical damage to the chassis. He's like, yes. You just broke the car. See, now, seeing this from Formula 1 Manager, Like, you're realizing, like, that's going to cost a lot of money, isn't it? We just bust a car. So now we're just, all our hopes on Mick Schumacher. Just go for it. You're, like, unbelievably behind. He's 6.5 seconds behind, and Ricciardo's right close to him. Why have we got a safety car out again? I don't really understand what's happened. Are they just still clearing up the track? So I've just used all of the ERS up while under the safety car. That seems like a mistake, but okay. I don't know if it's going to end up mattering. Well, lap 47. Safety car's in, so it's going to be like 2 laps. I'm just going to go for it. Go for it, mate. There's like no laps left. Everyone's bunched up now, and he's immediately been overtaken. He's close.
And DRS is enabled.
Is he going to be able to move back up? There we go. He's overtaken Norris. I don't think he's going to be close enough to do anything else. First place is taken, that's fine. And there we go. 12th place. I mean, we didn't get both drivers over 14th, which is super annoying, but we did get a driver over 12th, which I think was one of our challenges, so we're going to have money at least. But absolutely no points. So a disappointing race, really, for Haas. But such is life. I can't believe Magnussen was the only driver to crash on that circuit. That's very irritating. Oh, get an achievement. So, thank you very much for watching this. That's going to be it for this video. If you want to see more stuff from Formula 1 Manager, make sure you let me know in the comments, because I probably won't do any more videos on this unless there's a lot of demand for it. Obviously, you know, normally I do Call of Duty and stuff like that, but I might stream some races and things like that. Stream the continued journey of the Haas F1 team in my Fantasy 2022 season. If you like this video, if you watched this far, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, consider subscribing, turn your notifications on, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.